Welcome to the weekly astrology video. I'm Felicity Fletcher. I am an avid reader, a hopeful author, and a practicing witch and astrologer, and I am so happy to have you here. This video is covering the week of Sunday, May 4th through Saturday, May 10th. Let's jump into the astrology. We don't have quite that much to cover this week, and you'll find this week is a little different than the past few weeks have been. Let's take a look. So we're starting Sunday the 4th. Pluto's moving retrograde. I'm just mentioning that Pluto is retrograde a lot. Pluto is retrograde almost half of the time. Pluto moves forward so slowly. That is why we were talking about it so much recently, because it moved from one sign to another, which is huge. We've been talking about Pluto retrograde for the past 3 years or so, because Pluto was moving from Aquarius back to Capricorn, back into Aquarius. We were having these massive transitions. Pluto's not doing that anymore. Pluto is in Aquarius. We are not going to be talking about Pluto moving signs for over a decade. Except this time, Pluto is going from 3 degrees Aquarius to 1 degree Aquarius. It's not that big of a deal. I'll mention it a few times, but honestly, we probably won't talk about Pluto retrograde again until Pluto goes direct. But I just like to let you know that's happening. On Monday the 5th, we go from talking about the fastest or the slowest moving planet to the fastest moving planet. And because Monday the 5th, the moon moves into Virgo. When the moon's in Virgo, it's all about practicality. We care about the small details. This is the time to get things right, to set things up the right way. Virgo is all about health, fitness, work. Virgo is about taking care of ourselves, our physical selves, our mental selves, our emotional selves. And when the moon's in Virgo, this is the time to set ourselves up correctly. This is the time to do the work. I often talk about Virgo being a good time to start a fitness plan. But really that applies to anything that you need to do to take care of yourself. Setting up a cleaning schedule, setting up therapy, setting up a fitness plan, because Virgo cares about the details. It cares about every single small little step. Virgo asks the questions like, when are we most productive to work out? What type of workouts make us feel good? What type of workouts challenge us? How much do we need to do in a day? It's asking all those questions. So we have some time to set some things up. The other thing happening on Monday the 5th is Mercury is going to be sextiling Jupiter. This is setting us up even further. This is helping us out so much more. When Mercury sextiles Jupiter, it's the time to plan for the future. This is the time to communicate with others. If there's something you need to talk about, you need to do it on Monday, because Mercury sextile Jupiter is here to help you whether you want it or not. Sextiles are closer. The planets have no choice but to have this positive interaction with each other, to work with each other. It's going to be so productive. The planets are here to help us. This is a time for self-expression. This is the time where we can find fulfillment, where we can grow, where we can communicate what we need. This is such a good time for diplomacy, for getting business deals done. If you need to sign something, if you need to communicate, you need to do something for work, Monday is going to be a great day to work on those things, a great day to talk with people. This is the day to sit down and plan for your future. This is the day to start putting things in place for what is coming next. Then on Tuesday the 6th, Venus is sextile Pluto. So another sextile, another situation where the planets have no choice but to interact with each other, but they like it. It's a good distance away. They're excited. Pluto brings intensity to this aspect. So we tend to have a lot of intensity and a lot of passion in our love and our relationships. This is a time where we can build and create and cultivate profound and spiritual connections with other people. This is the time where you can connect with people on a different level. Now, Pluto is involved, Pluto is retrograde, so there are a couple warnings that come with this aspect. Because with intensity comes some concerns. We have to be very careful with secrets. Pluto loves digging up secrets. Pluto is deep. It's this deep part of ourselves. It's the darkness that we try to hide from others. We need to be very careful about what we do with our secrets, about what will happen if our secrets come out, because it's way more likely. If there is something that needs to be kept a secret, then you need to put in the extra effort to keep it that way. Darker things tend to appear. People's dark side, the things that they bury deep in themselves, tends to come up. And this is not a good or bad thing. In some situations, yes, there are some things that people just need to bury deep down inside and never let anybody know and keep that to themselves and never engage in that side of themselves. But there are also times that we're hiding things that are useful to us. This is the time where we can do shadow work. We can really dig into ourselves. We can look at our inner child. We can figure out how we love, why we love, who we love, and what we can do with that love. It can be very scary. There will be times where we will see things in other people that may be a little scary, but this is all for a good thing. This is all good. This is growth. Moving on Thursday the 8th, the moon moves into Libra. Libra moon right after the Virgo moon is one of the nicest things astrology could have done, because it's just building on this productivity and this kind of idea of getting our lives together. Libra is all about balance, diplomacy. We tend to avoid confrontation when the moon is in Libra. We're trying to make everybody happy, which is not necessarily a great thing. It's not a bad thing though. It's good to have diplomacy with others. It's good to have positive communication. It's good to build things with other people. So we need to be careful that we are not losing kind of that self-expression that we gained when Mercury was sextile Jupiter, right when the moon moved into Virgo. We want to hold on to that, but it's okay to compromise. It's okay to want to avoid confrontation as long as we are taking care of ourselves. And final thing, I told you this was a short video, we didn't have too much, but the final thing, actually I apologize, I didn't read my notes right. We have one final day to talk about. 2 planets moving on this day, but Saturday the 10th, the moon is moving into Scorpio. When the moon's in Scorpio, we feel our passions at a deeper, higher level. We feel a deeper level of desire. We tend to use Scorpio to get rid of things that limit us. So when the moon is in Scorpio is a good time to really be sitting there and figuring out what aspects of our life are truly helpful and what things are limiting us. What things can we get rid of? What things should we get rid of? We do have to be concerned about the darker side of passion. We need to be careful about people trying to be manipulative and make sure that we are not manipulating other people. We want to try to be careful of not being overly controlling. It's okay to try to control ourselves, but we cannot control other people. And then Mars is moving into Taurus Mercury is moving into Taurus. I am not reading my notes really well today, but I will never memorize them either, so I apologize. Saturday 10th, Mercury is moving into Taurus. When Mercury is in Taurus, we tend to be very grounded. Common sense wins when Mercury is in Taurus. I love it. I love it. I love common sense. Love when astrology is trying to bring us more common sense. We are going to be focused on the tried and true. You're going to have a lot of people that are very stuck in their ways. You're going to have a lot of people that don't really want to try something new. They communicate the way they communicate, they use the tools they use, end of discussion. We are really going to be focused on simplifying our lives. We're not going to want a whole bunch of newfangled technology. We're not going to want new systems at work. We want things to be simple. We want to go from point A to point B. We do have to be careful during this time that we don't make things too narrow, that we don't restrict ourselves too much, but it's okay to simplify. This is a good time to really sit back and reflect, deliberate on what information you've been given, what you're going to do with this information, and be ready to move forward. This week is giving us the tools that we need to productively communicate, to productively move forward, and to productively grow. And I think that is so very exciting. So we'll see what we do with that next week. You know my spiel: like, comment, subscribe, share. You can do all those things. Biggest thing though, come back next week. Video should be up on Thursdays. I'll see you then.